to BigH Trucking, wiping down my truck with a rag because I'm sitting at a truck stop for like 20 hours before I got to deliver a load tomorrow at midday. But BigH ain't going at midday. BigH is going to be going there about 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm in Georgia. I got to go through probably the worst city for traffic in the country. That's called Atlanta. Funny thing, I was just down here last week, and sometimes I wonder if my fleet manager likes to torture me. I wonder. Anyway, you know what? I was kind of listening to a video today. Sorry about the noise. The guy's trying to slide his tandems over here. He's having a tough time because the trailer's about 35 years old. And I think it's his own business. It looks like he's an owner-operator. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. I kind of was listening to the safety meeting last week, and this is what I kind of want to discuss with those of you who are coming in, thinking of coming in. Probably it wouldn't pertain to somebody my age. But hey, trucking is a great skill to learn. Until they come out with automated trucks, there is so much work. You'll never be without a job. Unless something happens to supply chain. That's another story for another day. I don't know if you guys been noticing, and I just want to harp on this for 1 second, that I went into the pet show last night in Louisiana. I think it was Hammond, Louisiana. Yeah, it was. I think it was Hammond. I looked in the cooler to get a bottle of water, and there was absolutely nothing on the shelves. Nothing. I mean, no energy drinks, no beer, no soda, no water. Am I the only one that's encountering this around the country? I'm wondering if something is going on with our supply chain, why we're not getting refreshments, in some cases even food. So I went across the street because I can walk across the street. There was a pilot and managed to find everything I needed. So maybe it was just that one particular place. I didn't have time to ask because I needed to take a shower and get on the road. Either they were remodeling, cleaning, they were doing something. The shelves are absolutely empty. But again, that's not the only place I've noticed where there is food and there's drinks that are not out of abundance. It's beginning to concern me. But with that being said, trucking. Is trucking a good industry to get into? Absolutely. 100,000%. But if you're young, if I were to do it all over, let's just skip back. If I were to do it all over, I would probably find a job with a good company, quote unquote prime, or a union job where you get benefits, there's a pension, 401ks, all kind of incentives, things along those lines. Why? Because when you're 20 years old, 21 years old, and you get a CDL, by the time you're my age, you've got a house that's been paid off, you've got a car that's been paid off, your children are absolutely on, if not done with college, depending on how late you start to have kids. Your retirement is in place. I was a freelancer my whole life. I freeballed it. I was the guy that was ambitious and wanted to make $1 million. And I don't know if you heard my story, but at one time I actually did achieve that. But through stupid things that I've done in my lifetime, not proud of, but they're all learning lessons. I blew all my money, invested it in wrong places, and just squandered it as fast as the company was going out. Rolex, Breitlings, vacations, villas, ski trips to Europe, trips to Canada. A girl in this town, a woman in that town, a woman in over there. I had, at one time 5, 10 girlfriends. but you know, 1 month here, 1 month there, if you get my drift. I had a great time. But being at my age, I wish, looking back and reflecting, it's always, you know, hindsight's always 20/20, as they say. I wish I wasn't as ambitious, because it was for me, it was a double-edged sword. Yes, I made a lot of money. I didn't know what to do with the money. I wish I got a good job, like a lot of my friends. I'm from New York. They got union jobs, electrician, sheet metal workers, heavy equipment operators, and they were making, I don't know, they were starting with like $20 an hour back in the mid-90s, early 90s. Went as high, some of them over $100 an hour. Electrical union, you're talking about $50 an hour, full benefits, the whole package. You don't need to worry. I'm 56 years old and I don't have health benefits. None. Thank God that I am a healthy guy. I have no need for medicine. And I do go to a doctor, I pay cash though. But I don't have benefits. God forbid something happens to me, I'm paying out of pocket. But you might want to think about that when you're young. You know, when you're coming into trucking or whatever you choose to do, find a job with a great company. Whether it's local or whether it's on the road. Do your research. The last thing you want to do is jump from job to job, which I'm kind of guilty of, especially early on in my 20s and 30s. I basically blew it all, 20s and 30s. But I never had a father to sit me down and say, do it this way, this is what you do. You know, my father was a workaholic. All he wanted to do was work, and he paid no attention to me and my brother. My mother wasn't the best of I guess a role model per se, because she was a housemaker, she was a homemaker. My mother didn't have to work. My father made enough money where she sat home, raised the kids, and all she'd do was, you know, was clean the house, take care of us, and whatever a housewife does. But that led me down to a path of really a lot of confusion. I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. You know, I had friends of mine or colleagues that I went to school with that knew exactly what they wanted to be in high school. In some cases, even in middle school or elementary school, however you want to say it. They knew they wanted to be a doctor. They knew they wanted to be a mechanic. They knew they wanted to work in a body shop. Whatever. They knew. I never had that. What I really wanted to do was play pro football and be a race car driver, but that was not realistic. Right? I'm too slow, and my parents didn't have enough money to train, you know, for me to go to, you know, go-kart school and all, go-karting and all that stuff that it takes to become a race car driver. But there's nothing wrong with working for a company. There's nothing wrong with staying with a company for, like I said, 20, 25, 30 years and being done my age. I'm relying on my investments. You know, God forbid, and they're doing phenomenal. You know, I think I finally made some wise choices later on in my life. What happens if it goes to zero? I don't know what the chances are, but it's not guaranteed that my investments in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are going to make me super wealthy. I'm just hoping and praying from all the research I've done and listened to experts, I've made wise choices. But again, what if not? I've got nothing to back me. I don't have a company sending me a pension or a 401k that's going to come in where I'm going to be doing $3,000 to $4,000 a month. I don't have that. Get it? Unless you're really, really ambitious and you're really on top, and you're business savvy, I should say, and ambitious, do you want to come lease? Or do you want to become an owner or operator? You know, there's nothing wrong with taking the safe way out. Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, well, it's the safe way out. It's conservative. Well, there's nothing wrong with being conservative. I mean, my dad was conservative. He worked for the same company for 32 years. Phenomenal pension. Never had a want for anything. Had all his bills covered, his medical covered. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. I know our society seems to put a lot of pressure on becoming a multi-millionaire. At least that's the message Henry got. I got. Become rich, do nothing, kick up your feet, go travel, see the world, and again, nothing wrong with it. But if I didn't wake up one day in my early 40s and start moving things in the right direction, I'd be way worse off than I am now. You know, I can sit here as a lease operator and tell you I'm doing phenomenal, and I am doing phenomenal. I do have the work ethic to support that. I've got a half a brain in my head, and I figure things out pretty quickly. You know, I make good decisions. I try to be as professional as I possibly can. Try not to be an annoyance to my fleet manager. Try to be, you know, I want him to think of me as, you know what, we don't talk. Again, we do not talk. If something goes wrong, I figure it out for myself, or I'll call a couple buddies. You know, so I think on my own feet, and that's what you need too. But what if you're not that person? There's nothing wrong with staying local and going union. You know, near me, you can do construction. There's plenty of construction. I live close to the city. Plenty of construction companies need drivers. Whether you're moving big, heavy equipment, you're moving sand, rock, concrete. You know, concrete drivers near us make over $30 an hour. You know, for New York, it's still a little light, but there's concrete plants all over the country, all over the world. But don't let anybody ever tell you you should do this or you should do that. I am definitely a promoter of, you know, when you're young, you still have plenty of years left, although nothing is guaranteed. But you do have years and years left. You're strong, you feel great, you recover from long days of work, hard work. You can adapt. You still got a mom and dad, or mother, or father, or whatever, to rely on. You know, all that's out the window for me for the last 15 years. I don't have a mother or father that knows me. My aunts and uncles, they're pretty much, there's only one left out of 9. I'm pretty much alone in the world, other than my girlfriend and my brother, who are kind of distant. That's it. You know, I don't have a Christmas to go home to. And I'm not trying to make it a sad story. By no means, I'm fine. But what I'm trying to say to you is, since you have all those resources to support you in case it doesn't work out and you're the ambitious type, why not go company? Why not find a local job? Like I said, find something with benefits, with a potential careers. When you go, some of these companies now, they're willing to educate you, willing to send you to school. There's a lot more chances out there, more possibilities out there than what I had. So don't let anybody ever convince you not to do or not to go somewhere. Weigh your options, use your head, listen to your intuition, and do it. You know, there's days I sit here and say, you know, because a few guys left Prime to go to Landstar. Nothing wrong with that. There's guys, you know, and gals that want to stay with Prime for 30 years. Nothing wrong with that. You know, as a lease operator, you know, people say, well, Prime's ripping you off, they're keeping a percentage of the money. Yeah, but they're keeping you running, they're keeping you busy. There's the backroom support, all the paperwork, all the minutia that I don't even know all the minutia that goes on with the trucking world. I get a load on my Qualcomm, I go pick it up. Now, as a company guy, you don't have to deal with broken trucks, tires, fuel, DEF, nothing. I'm responsible for oil changes, tires, windshields, anything that's not covered by warranty. Henry's got to pay for it. Very blessed. Got a phenomenal truck, 140,000 miles. Phenomenal truck. Knock on wood, but I take care of her. I treat her right. I try not to over rev the engine. I try to baby this truck as much as possible, but I do not drive 55 miles an hour. I am not the guy that's going to save a couple of nickels. And I passed a prime truck today. He was doing 55 miles an hour. And 5 years later, I looked in my mirror and he was nowhere to be found. I don't believe in that. I believe in hitting the metal to the pedal, getting rid of the load, getting on to the next one, and keep moving. Time is money, folks. At the end of the day, time is money. Moving. But since I got into this career, I'm thinking about getting a truck. I was. When I was ordering my Peterbilt, it was coming in December, and I chose to decline the build of the Peterbilt. Why? I really didn't want a brand new truck riding out in the middle of winter time. On hindsight, stupid move, bad decision, because now you can't get the Peterbilts. But do I think of getting a 2003, 2004 Peterbilt with a cat engine in it, 600 horsepower, with 2,000 foot-pounds of torque? Yeah. In fact, not only do I want to get a truck, because I have the means to pay for it, and they're not cheap. You talk about a truck with 1 million plus miles on it, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. But guess what? I don't have to put DEF in it. And if I go back to 2000, I don't have to use electronic log. Can I make a go of it in the trucking industry? And that's my big question mark. Can I do it? Can I get my own truck and trailer? And I would buy a trailer. And run I would run from Pennsylvania down to probably Georgia, over probably no further west than Texas. I would never go past Texas, and no further west, central west, than than probably Ohio. No, I'm sorry, not Ohio, Illinois. So I'd run like a little square. Not even the top, because the top is garbage. Once you get over Ohio, you're back in New York, and there's nothing upstate New York that's even worth taking freight out for an owner-op, unless you get hooked up with somebody. There's always flexibility. Yeah, I do wake up not every day, but it's been knocking at me to go get my own truck and trailer. Because what I'm making in prime, I could probably do. I've been averaging about $5,500 a week. Some weeks almost over 7,000. Worst weeks, 4,500. If I could do 7,000 a week with prime, I probably could do anywhere between 10 and 14,000 as an owner-op. Basically got the same responsibilities as I do with that truck as I do with this truck. I'm not going to go into particulars about the truck because, any truck needs repairs. But those trucks, those Peterbilt 379s are tried and true trucks. Cat engines are tried and true. You can find a truck with a totally rebuilt engine, with 100,000, 200,000 if you're willing to pay the money. I've been looking. I've been sniffing. I don't want to make age an issue. This long and drawn out, it's probably boring. Most of you will make it to the end. I'm watching them build an amazing, humongous building across the street. Do I want to get involved in starting my own business? Because right now the iron is hot. This industry cannot find enough drivers. Why should I give Prime more money? Why can't I get my own? Run the job boards. I'm personable enough. I know how to build a business. Why can't I make relationships with shippers or receivers? I'm sure I can. Every shipper and every shipper in the territories I've mentioned absolutely need drivers. And I would get a reefer trailer, because when push comes to shove, people need food. So even if the industry does get slowed down, dry van, you're limited. Reefer, you're not so limited. Food, and I can always put roofing shingles inside my trailer. Well, I tear my chute a little bit, but I can get roofing shingles in the trailer. Well, and I'm sorry I'm all over the place because there's so much friggin' distractions in front of me, it's ridiculous. But the point of my story is this. You have to figure out who you are as an individual, male or female, doesn't matter. You have to take what's yours. And if you're not that ambitious person, and you want a really good career, go work for a company that has benefits. You can, it's a, should I say, a simpler way. Now, we can talk about the pluses and minuses of owning your own business. You know, you work for a company for 20 years, the next day they close the doors and say, get out. I understand all that. But hopefully you've been smart with your money, or then you're able to save money. So in the event that does happen, you have plenty of money on the side to keep to get you going for the next 6 months, a year, or even longer. There's nothing wrong, folks. There is nothing wrong with working for a company. There's nothing wrong. I have a friend at Prime who started at the same time. Started out his company, started training people. He doesn't get off the pad. He's going to make nearly $90,000 this year. Always opportunities inside of the company to improve your worth, to move up. Always. Something to think about for those youngsters. And even if you're older. Listen, I'm 56. I use my age as an excuse. Am I going to buy that truck and that trailer? As you can see, I haven't made my mind up yet. Because I know I can do more than I'm making here. I know how hard I run. I figured it out. I figured out the big puzzle, that's the clock. I figured it out. And it really is not that hard. Most people figure it out. Everybody figures it out. I know if I can make it in the lease program that everybody shits on, that says Prime is out to rob you. Well, they didn't rob me. They're giving me everything I need. I don't need to step foot and build relationships with anybody except my fleet manager. That's the safe way. But no, I think at the end of the day, I don't know about buying a truck and going to Landstar. I don't think I would do that because I don't know what they take, but they take the money too. And you've got to do all the work pretty much, except for what I did was get some insurance quotes on trucks, and your first year is brutal. It's over $40,000. It quoted me $47,000 first year. Then it goes down in the second year, and the third. By the fifth year, you're doing it's like $8,000 a year. You've got to suck wind for the first year, and that's usually when most people go out of business. First few months. So, am I going to leave Prime and start my own company? No. Can I get a truck still and get on with the Russians out in Illinois Probably not, and the reason is I made myself a plan, a 5-year plan. What I can tell you is that my health is suffering because I smoke, and I don't work out like I used to. I don't train. I go for walks and try to eat good, but I can feel I've already put on 14 pounds. And no, guys, I am not stopping at Walmart. I am not stopping at Walmart. I'm not stopping at Walmart. Sorry. Can I eat healthier? Yeah. And I do. But I feel because of the inactivity, I've always been a guy who likes to train, who likes to move. I do go for my walks, but it's not the same as what my soul and my body wants. I need more exercise. And my blood pressure has gone up. I have one of these. It's called a Oberon. $100. Keep track of my blood pressure. Because the last thing I want to do is like what happens with some people out here. They have a heart attack and they stroke the fuck out, and I ain't stroking out. So for that reason, and probably that's the main reason why I am not going to go and get my own truck and trailer, because I'm giving it another few years, finish out my contract on. And hopefully by then my Bitcoin will be worth a ton of money. And I don't have to worry about doing this again. Now, I love trucking. Let's not forget that. I love this business. I love the travel. I love the peacefulness. What I don't like is my body's not always in motion. Let me tell you something. The last 2 nights, I came out of Laredo, Texas. I'm in Georgia. I was in Laredo, Texas less than 48 hours ago. I've done 1,136 miles in less than 48 hours. What does that mean? Well, that means I stayed in this truck and not get out of my truck in nearly 2 days. I've only slept. Luckily, if I slept, I've yet to sleep today. I've been up since 10 o'clock yesterday. Sorry, 9 o'clock last night. Looking for a shower. So since I got called to Laredo, dropped that load off in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, and got dispatched on a load a few hours later, which was picking up at 8 o'clock, which turned out to be a 10 o'clock pickup. I really haven't had much sleep in the last 3 days, 3.5 days. Less than 10 hours of sleep. How healthy is that? Now, do I get a nice break right now? Yeah, but you know what? My body's not going to just fall asleep for 20 hours. I just not who I am. It's not how my body works. And that's not good. I'm rambling on, folks. But, again, for those of you that want to go company, put my sneakers on. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing down here. For those of you that want to go company, stay company, get your pension, get your 20 years, get your 401k match, get the benefits, fucking do it. Or if you got ambition and you got chutzpah and you feel you can make a difference and crack it, learn how to save your money, invest your money, there's nothing wrong with going lease. There's nothing wrong with taking a chance on getting a truck. Moving up. Nothing wrong with leaving Prime. Stop worrying about whatever Tom, Dick, and Harry does and do what you think is right for you and your family. But at the end of the day, move forward. stay in neutral and reverse. And don't make stupid mistakes like I did. Just blow your money. I blew every friggin' dime. Every morsel of money on women, trips, clothes, cars. Because I was cool. Yeah, I was cool. I was cool to the people that I was buying shit for. As soon as that left, they left. But you know what? You ain't gonna learn that until you go through that experience yourself. When you go through the shit, you'll count on one hand how many friends you got. Those are your real friends. Those are the ones you don't leave. But do what you think is going to be right for you and your family. And there's no shame in whatever you choose, as long as you make a choice. All right, with that being said, folks, thank you for stopping by BigH Trucking and Transportation. I'm just trying to bring you the real geese. Maybe somebody will listen to this and maybe it'll touch somebody and say, you know what? There's nothing wrong with my choice. Because at the end of the day, you get one life. I lost an acquaintance yesterday, 37 years old. He was in the bodybuilding community.